That looks so good. Last time I reviewed a Valerion projector, I did something a bit extreme here. I literally replaced my 8K TV with the VisionMaster Pro 2 and never looked back. So when I saw the Valerion launched a new projector, it's called the VisionMaster Max now, with better blacks, more contrast, less rainbow effect, faster gaming and a new lens system, I thought, brilliant. This projector is probably going to ruin TVs for me completely now. Before we get into the tests and the review itself, a quick bit of context. Valerion is a World Vision premium sub-brand. They're very much going after the cinema at home, but without a huge ugly projector, bolted to the ceiling sort of style. They're going for a proper home theater performance in a more lifestyle friendly box. I mean, just look at this. It looks incredible. In any space, it will look amazing. It's not something that you want to hide, you know? The VisionMaster line has won a bunch of Best of CES awards, is even on display at the Modern Art Museum in New York, which is kind of mad for a projector really. I've already lived with the Pro 2 long enough that I replaced my 8K TV, as I said. Don't take my word for it, you can literally see it behind me in every video on this channel. It's been behind me all this time for the last 6-7 months. So in this video, I want to see if the new VisionMaster Max is actually a meaningful step up. 3 main things I want to focus on. 1. Black levels and contrast. Is this ultimate black thing real? I also want to check actual video performance, HDR, streaming, dark scenes, real films as well that you want to watch at home. And my space here is probably not going to be the optimal space because I've got lots of natural light coming in, like right now. So I can give you an idea of the best case scenario when it's dark, but also what it might look like during the day for you. And I'll also test gaming on this. Valerion claims that it's got an ultra low input lag for proper HDMI 2.1 support, so I'll be putting that to the test as well with my PS5 and have some fun with it. And where possible and relevant, I'll do some direct comparisons as well against the Pro 2, which I still have here. Right, so what are we actually dealing with here? The VisionMaster Max is a true 4K RGB triple laser projector with a quoted 3,500 ISO lumens of brightness, covering up to 110% of the Rec 2020 color space. Now 3,500 ISO lumens is really pushing a lot of brightness in there. So in theory, with all this brightness, right, this should handle HDR content very nicely. It's got a very wide color gamut as well for us to play with. The big marketing phrase here is Ultimate Black, Ultimate Cinema. Under the hood, that is powered by Valerion's Noir Scene Dark Field engine, which combines their EBL, Enhanced Black Level algorithm, a precision 6-level iris, and a design that reduces stray light inside the optics. Fun fact, I actually forgot to turn on EBL. Actually, was one of you in my previous review that called that out, and I was like, oh my gosh, it was already so good. But when you turn that on, even on the previous one, it really brings that Valerion quality to life. And on the Max, it's on another level. On paper, that gives you a massive 5,000:1 native contrast ratio and up to 50,000:1 viewing contrast with the iris and EBL working together, which is way beyond what most smart projectors quote. When you throw in up to 300-inch image size, yeah, you heard that right, 300-inch, support for Dolby Vision, IMAX Enhanced, HDR10 Plus, Filmmaker Mode, and Active 3D, and the usual Google TV experience with built-in streaming apps, AirPlay 2, Chromecast, and Miracast. Honestly, it's a lot packed in here. The MSRP is $4,999, so this is not competing with the kind of cheap portable projectors. This is going up against serious home theater gear. And I saw this in Berlin in action at IFA earlier this year with a proper cinema setup, and wow, it was so impressive to see and hear as well. I'll leave links and specs in the descriptions as always, but these are the basics here. Now, let's get into a bit more detail. From a design perspective, it's very similar to the previous Pro 2, which I love, physically at least, is very similar. It's still that premium, beautiful, quite chunky box that looks like a very high-end piece of audio kit. A true conversation starter in any living room. The big differences are mostly on the optical side. You now get 0.9 to 1.5 to 1 optical zoom, support for external lenses. I saw this in person and I was amazed at how easy it is to do that. What that really means is that you can extend that optical zoom now to 0.9 to 2.0 to 1. And you get up to about 105% vertical lens shift. In plain English, this means you're not fighting with keystone correction, try to get the image in the right place. You can mount it higher or lower and use that lens shift to line up the image perfectly to your screen. And if you're a proper home theater nerd, you can even go for anamorphic lenses and get a 2.4 to 1 ultra wide cinema screen without the black bars. And that anamorphic lens attachment is really easy to install as well. Keystone and auto screen fit is superb, and we also get great obstacle avoidance and great autofocus too. This is going to be brilliant if you're in a busy place and you're kind of using it in a living room where furniture and kids stuff might get in the way every now and then. This is really good for that. Right, let's talk about one of their main features, which is the black levels. Valerion's whole pitch with the Max is that it gives you traditional high-end home theater black levels and contrast, but in a smart projector with Google TV and all the nice quality of life features. To really put the black levels to test, they recommend a few specific settings for testing the black, so let's give that a go. So we're gonna set the iris to manual level 6, laser luminance to EBL high, and they recommend a throw ratio of around 1.5 to 1 if you can. And last but not least, we're gonna have some films that will help us stress it. You know all those dark, moody scenes where bad projectors either crush the shadows or turn everything into like a gray soup? Are superb on the Max, unbelievable. Clearly, as you can see here, Valerion does a great job at keeping great detail in the shadows, especially when you look at faces and clothing in those darker scenes. Most smart projectors sit around, 1,000 to 1 contrast, right? Whereas the Max is rated at 5,000 to 1 native and 50,000 to 1 with the iris in EBL. That's crazy. Talking of which, another big upgrade Valerion's pushing here is their anti-RBE and speckle reduction tech. In simple terms, rainbow effect is that little rainbow fringe that people see on DLP projectors when bright objects move across a dark background. I certainly haven't noticed that here in all situations that I've used. And laser speckle is that grainy, shimmering pattern that you sometimes see on solid colors with laser projectors. With the VisionMaster Max, Valerion claims to reduce both up to 99.99%, especially when you pair it with their pure vision screen, which adds another layer of speckle reduction as well. I definitely noticed less sparkle on bright, flat areas like skies or animated content, and according to Valerion's own materials and customer feedback, people who were sensitive to RBE on the Pro 2 are calling the Max a real upgrade with higher contrast and much lower rainbow artifacts. Now for a bit of fun, let's talk about gaming, because this is another area where it gets interesting for a projector, right? It's always a bit tricky. I was already impressed with the Pro 2, but wow, this is even better now. Take a look. The VisionMaster Max is rated for 4 milliseconds input lag at 1080p 240Hz, 8 milliseconds at 1080p 120Hz, and around 15 milliseconds at 4K 60Hz, all with HDMI 2.1, ALLM, auto low latency mode, and gaming features like crosshair and dark detail, which definitely holds up in real use. It's absolutely game console friendly, and I'm having a ton of fun playing here, even at the highest resolution. For me, 4K 60 on the Max feels incredible to play. For my level of gaming anyway, not playing competitively, I would happily replace my TV with this for console gaming, no issues at all. And what also makes that possible is the speakers. Valerion has built two 12-watt speakers into the Max with support for DTS Virtual X, DTS X, and Dolby Audio. It's meant to be a complete out-of-the-box solution if you don't want to hook it up to a sound system straight away. From a budget perspective, which is interesting, right? This is great because you can start with a projector and get the sound bars or speakers later. The sound coming out of it has incredible clarity, even in busier scenes. I mean, of course you can hook this up to a dedicated sound system and get much better audio quality, but if you want to start with the projector by itself, this will be more than good enough. Now, one of the main reasons I liked the Pro 2 as a TV replacement for me here was that it behaved like a TV without the high cost to run, and the OS feels faster as well than my previous TV, which is incredible. And the Max continues that with Google TV built in, all the usual streaming apps like Netflix, YouTube, Prime Video, Apple TV Plus, and so on, Wi-Fi 6E, Gigabit Ethernet for proper high bitrate streaming. He also has AirPlay 2, Chromecast and Miracast for sharing content from your phone or your laptop. There are HDMI 2.1 ports on the back, USB 2.0, 3.0, SPDIF, and audio out, of course, so you can plug in consoles, Blu-ray players, external drives, speakers, the lot. Fun noise, interestingly, is super quiet as well, and I don't ever hear it, even at night when I'm listening to it at lower volume. Sometimes I'm hearing the edit, I have to pause YouTube or whatever, and I hear it, a very gentle hum, but nothing like it would bother anyone, especially when you got it playing something. So after all that testing, I am really super impressed. When I replaced my 8K TV earlier this year with the VisionMaster Pro 2, I was honestly shocked at how good that was. But the VisionMaster Max really takes it up a notch now. It feels like Valerion is going after that same idea of delivering great image quality in a beautiful design, but turning the home cinema experience dial up even further. The only thing is, you really want a dark, controllable room to get the most from these black levels, but even in my crazy space here with all these windows, this has already made a huge difference. All the links are in the description for you, and if you are watching this from a TV or a projector, just scan the QR code here. Check out my other Valerion review as well over here, and I hope to see you soon. Take it easy.